Well, good evening. I'm your host, Robert Wilson, with Wisdom Hypnoacuity presents 7 ways I am I Autodidact. That means self-education. I'm a Autodidact. That that means self-education. As I energize my Autodidact communication skills to feel comfortable communicating with bosses, arrogant people, educated people, egotistical, arrogant, know it alls, to stop letting people with college degrees or anybody intimidate me, allowing me to trust my internal uh, vigor to communicate because everybody encompasses wisdom the other person never does. Conversations are about moving people forward, and I was the worst about being a know-it-all. This is fun for me to get to laugh at me for being a know-it-all. A know-it-all stalled out in self-sabotaging crap. And stop being intimidated by people that exude arrogance that I allowed to intimidate me because I didn't feel like I was on the same level. And yet, as I admit to me, I was above and equal to that. My OD Autodidact, acumen, audacity, ability, and agility allows me to communicate with courage and confidence so I can look them in the eye and communicate with them. See, people like to use their arrogance and like their prestige in life, but yet always understand you encompass wisdom they never do. And they will never have the unique wisdom within you unless you communicate with them. People that stop communicating, like I'm a blue collar worker and there's a lot of college educated bosses and stuff, they got arrogant and they never wanted to communicate. The one that loses in a non communicative situation is the arrogant one. If you look at the world is stuck in arrogance. And something else I really want to express to people: computers and AI have zero wisdom. They are a straightforward artificial intelligence that has zero communicative abilities. It can put stuff on paper, but it can never communicate what's out in our daily lives that we're here to rise out of. So stop allowing snobbish people to intimidate you as I am expanding of that. Express your wisdom with confidence. That's something. If you start expressing wisdom rather than knowledge comes from books and something you've learned from somebody else. But wisdom is here and now, and it's something you experienced in your daily adventures. So when you express your wisdom with confidence and courage and audacity, you rise out of the current situation. And this is something I opened up to in myself. How does your school year still affect you today? Mine did, and they still do, let's be honest. But what I realize is I was never a teacher's pet. Even on the job site, I was kind of always on the fringe because I have a different energy. When you have a different energy, you scare the management, and you scared teachers, but I never was one of them teachers' pets. And they always like to use the teachers' pets to intimidate us and criticize and ridicule you. But what teachers don't understand, that stays with you all through your life. So when you rise and liberate yourself from your school years, to understand all school is to get you started on your adventurous self-education or on your Autodidact adventures, on your sovereign adventures of life. Because when you open up to your sovereign sapience or sovereign wisdom, you're unattached to outside sources. And that is something I really understand. I took the word self out of my life and I use the word sovereign because it's unattached. And something I opened up to, and this is I use words and lingo that have zero memory in them. Because if you're trying to change, heal, create, transform your life, you have memories connected with that. And then memories have emotions and feelings. And until you can appreciate the situation, you stay inside the movies of it. And for me, forgiveness was non-existent, but I appreciate my abilities to communicate with that person. I got the valiant valor to rise and shine. And so what type of people intimidate you? And they're not intimidating you, you're intimidating yourself. That's something I really opened up to. I never, ever had the outside world intimidate me. I intimidated myself because of my insecurities, immaturities, and I was afraid to communicate with people, especially the people that I thought were educated and I thought were really wise. And then after I talked to them, they're never as wise as my ego thought they were. See, the ego is good, and the ego is an insecure little baby brat. And mine was an insecure baby brat. As I'm awakened and aware of the dare, as I am a autodidact, adventurers to rebelliously rise of autodidact acumen to instantly stop being intimidated by highly educated people. Something about highly educated people, they cannot communicate outside of the box of their education. And that education isn't always the best way forward. If you look at the world today, we're highly educated, business running it, and professors, and we've actually started sliding down the hill of mediocrity. Everyday life has wisdom, insight, and clarity in our adventures and our scampers and people we talk to. And something I awakened to, we look at the people that are misplaced in life and we think that they're there because of something. They're there because that was their voyage. It's none of my business. But some people that are misplaced are what we call homeless. They have wisdom that will help straighten the world out today. But the higher ups in this world, they're afraid to listen to something that doesn't fit into their picture perfect plan of education. And how is computers and the AI stealing the innovation of people? It's easy to have somebody write something for you, but can you do it yourself? It's like they took cursive out of the school system. You want to confuse the world now, just write it in cursive. See, we forgot the fundamentals of foresight unlocking now. And that is, sometimes we call it outdated, but how's the outdated more mature and more innovative than all the technology we have today? And how have we become so reliant on technology, we can't innovate our lives anymore because we're looking for the AI and the computers? How have we become robots with a robotic thinking mind, memory mind that binds us in what everybody the computer tells us? And you look at the world today, there's a lot of dismay, but there's zero understanding that people move the world forward. Because I'm a union electrician, and we're looking at everything, but now kids are starting to go to the trades because they can make money quicker than they can in school. So that's kind of why some of that southern border may have something to do with keeping the wages lower. And see, When a bureaucrat says start spewing statistics, they're trying to sell you a bill of goods, because they're never going to tell you the facts and the way forward, because they like controlling people's minds. It's binded in education and business, because education is what everybody else wants you to know, and business comes from a third world enslaving mindset today. And we have our ancestor programming where it says business and education. This guy knows. And we've always followed a hierarchy of the wealthy people, the politicians. Everybody knows what's best, but they don't understand the pathway to peace and prosperity. And that's something we all have to open up to, is our pathways of enlightenment to enjoy the peace and prosperity that's in here. And, something else, my sovereign sapience, I get to look straight through the egotistical arrogance and know-it-all ignorance of being a media puppet. As the media is the microphones and keyboards of the powerful families of the world, and they want us to be sheeple and follow. But when you rise out of the sheeple, get off the path of turdocracy and onto your liminal carpet glide, you rise above this to ride the tides of transcending imagination, dawning, enterprising, savvy today and every day in a bold, bright way. See, the media speaks sneaky, controlling blather, keeping people all lathered up in a pessimistic paucity. Oh, this is wrong. This is wrong. There's nothing wrong in the world, in the physical world. All the physical world is doing is asking us for wisdom, insight, clarity, intuition, imagination to rise us out of the current way of life. But the pessimistic paucity keeps people swirling and whirling in victimeyetice, crapeyetice, thinking something is better than what they are, not realizing you're enlightened right where you stand. As you move forward and listen, you polish that enlightenment with intuitive nirvana, galvanizing the gamer's gumption within you to rise, shine, and energize your intuition to expand through life with ease. And one thing the victimeyetice, crapeyetice does, we think college education and business mindsets are going to lead us to the promised land. And that's just the propagandized policies caused by social brainwashing. You want to control the world? Educate them with your philosophies. And then just keep, you have the philosophies up here, just keep lowering them down like we've done in the last 30 years. Because I was born in 55, and the world is way more delusional than it was in 55. The social brainwashing that business and education makes us think they have the answers and solutions, but they have the answers for their bottom line, and solutions for the people to pay the way. And also something else, when the taxpayer, when the government gives a taxpayer a tax break to a corporation, that's the taxpayer loaning money to the corporation. Because that ain't the government's money, that's our money. And that's where we really have to open up to understand, when you hear tax breaks or you hear something for a corporation, that's a taxpayer funding the corporations because they're too cheap to pay the wages that support their company. And that's caused by ancestor programming, thinking that business and education were the answers. Business and education is a stalled out doubt within people, and we're trying to do it the easy way, rather than you and me unleashing our intuition, imagination, innovation, sleek, unique talents to ballet through life with a bold audacity, loving life every day, tantalizing our whys. See, we've been kind of manicured and massaged with, oh, this is for us. We got to do it this way. That's the biggest dismay there is, because when we got this idea that low wages and high CEO wages are the way forward, and everything a corporation makes comes from people. They can say it's all this other stuff, but it isn't. Corporate profits come from people, not from a business plan, not from this, but from people paying them. And then they turn around, they move the factory to China or someplace. Then they're uh, at the state legislatures getting tax breaks. And if they don't give them a tax break, they move to the next state. People, we have to open up to understand we are the autodidact of our life. We're the sovereign sapience and the autonomous adventure of our life to rise, shine, energize, and expand through life. Realizing our daily scampers, enterprise, enlightenment illuminates our trails of trailblazer revelations that awakens intuitive lyrical songs of stunning success. As my sovereign sapience, mystical magic magician eavesdrops on the universe's airways of acumen, the earth's breezes of brilliance, and earth's mother wit of wisdom, inspiration titillates my innate fashion designer daredevilry to understand my autodidact audacity to realize and admit college educated people are equal to me, and so are all the politicians and all the CEOs. They're equal to me because I encompass wisdom and an ability their college education lacks. As I now realize, college education, all the computers and people that run them lack the wisdom from their daily experiences. When you walk out of college straight into management, you understand, you think you know what's going on, but you don't understand the intricacies of it. And that's what this country's lost, is the intricacies of what is happening. As I now realize, I comprehend wisdom, as learned knowledge is from books and other people, as wisdom is from my experiences, as my wisdom is my autodictate acumen for me to rise, shine, and energize and expand through life with ease. Now and forevermore, I soar of spirit optimistic, adroit revelations that chauffeurs me through life, beaming, liberating, intuitive, fervor energy, dancing with elegance through my daily extravaganzas. And as I open up to this, as I understand it's an auto education, it's self-taught, but you focus on what you want in life, not a general thing. And that's where we've lost out. Everybody's out here floating around, but when you do the auto education with a auto dictate energy, you focus on what you desire. See, all the, you can set all the goals you want and do everything, but what are you experiencing to rise to that desired outcome? See, we use words that have no energy to them. Goals, what do you feel? Accomplished outcome, what do you feel? You got to open up to a now liberating lingo that you feel in here. To rise out of anything, you got to you got to liberate the body, and it works its way up. Because we think and know our way through yesterday. And as I witnessed today, we're using the same knowledge, education, but we've went into AI. So it takes more innovation away from the people. And do I use AI? Hell yes. But I write it first, then I go to the AI. I never want to lose my innovative talents. And everybody in this world has innovative talents. And I use innovative instead of creative because I feel creative here and I feel innovative here. Only difference. Basically the same. But when I innovate my innate talents, I do energize my enterprising wizardry to free me from me. This isn't about being the smartest. This is about being wise to energize who you are. Who do you desire to be? Who are you? Are you open to discovering you? That's what this is all about. And I got a new expansion ours. I stopped letting life intimidate me because we are intimidated by, oh, that don't fit into society's ways. What am I going to do? The more you fit into the society, the more you stay in the dismay of yesterday. And something I realized for me is self-help, personal growth, self-improvement, and most of the college educated therapies never let you out of the socialized way of life. And they try to keep you in the window of tolerance and all this other stuff. But your wisdom, insight, clarity is the liberating, lionized internal boldness, energizing the robust, trend-setting audacity of you. When you listen to your talents, you ballet out of yesterday to allow the here and now to show for you to your beautiful beaches of bountiful bliss, boldly loving internal splendor every day as your adventurous ardor soars you to the freedom. But it's really about your understanding. Once you get out of high school or any school, the self-education begins, or the auto education, because you're on the here and now and you liberate you from you. And it's autodidact that moves you forward. I'm going to learn that word someday, but it's autodidact that is yourself. That's your sovereign valor showing you the way. I took self out and I use sovereign because it's unattached to outside sources. And once you think and know, you're attached to a memory or something inside you, but you listen, question, liberate, and comprehend the wisdom of every situation, you rise, shine on your prime time, trend-setting flight of life. Feeling the love, invigorate, galvanizing, hellraiser tenacity. I use a different vocabulary because I want to feel the tenacity and the excitement of being a troublemaker, a hellraiser. Gives you some pizzazz and lets go of being the socialized butterfly. Because then you become the grizzly bear, the tiger, the lion, the rhinoceros, whatever you want to be. You become an animal of audacity, naturally invigorating, majestic, adventurous lure to understand life is a curiosity of liberating invitations, fostering, emancipating events, encounters, and experiences to rise you to your mountaintop of moneyed up bliss. And with that, I'm going to say good night. I'm Robert Wilson with Cowboy Wisdom Hypno Acuity. And something I show people is the way I expanded my life out of being inside socialized brainwashing to be a trendsetter and troublemaker to enjoy life my way. And I want to thank you and say good night. See you tomorrow night with Life is a Beggar.